Welcome to the Too Posh Podcast.
I am Gabrielle. I'm a former New York Mafia princess, originally from Austria. I am the mother of 3 and the owner of Too Posh Boutique. And here with my beautiful co-host, Marcella, my daughter.
Hello, I'm Marcella. I'm a dancer, choreographer, model, and designer for Too Posh. And I say whatever the I want.
Hi, my name is Cruz. I am a stylist. I also own the Society Salon in the Design District, and I am a short little Mexican with a big personality.
What will they say next? Welcome to the Too Posh Podcast.
So when did you meet Stewart and when did
Stewart Marriott.
Yeah.
So, Stewart's from Dallas.
Right.
So, we met in Dallas. He was this weird model kid who didn't sleep with girls. I was like, what's wrong with you, bro? But he also didn't drink, and he didn't do drugs, and he didn't do a lot of things. And I thought he was just really an interesting dude. I respected him, and I was like, okay, cool. He didn't judge me either.
How old are you at this time?
I mean, we're in our 20s. We're in
Okay.
our early 20s. So we had all of our initial music success touring the world on the Hammer Tour, CNC Music Factory, In Vogue, and all that. And Stewart, and I kept in touch with Stewart during all that. And then when I got done, and I asked Charles Koppelman, I said, Charles, I want to do what you do. He said, I'm the CEO of the record company. I was like, yeah, I want to do what you do. He goes, well, when you get done working in the mailroom out here, why don't you move to New York and work on? No, he said, well, when you get done working out here on tour, why don't you move to New York and work in the mailroom? I was like, Charles, but you don't work in the mailroom. I've been out here 4 years. You don't work in the mailroom, bro. And I've been reading the contracts, and I've been talking to people, and you don't work in the mailroom. He said, well, that's how you do it. He said, or you can become a businessman. And you always talk to me about technology. Why don't you go and represent talent or create something or bring us innovative solutions for the problems you keep talking about? And at the time, the internet was disrupting music like crazy, Napster and all that stuff. And I just loved it, and they hated it. So he gave me that advice. And when I did get done, I decided to call Stewart up and tell him, hey, man, I'm going to go in this direction. I'd like to partner with you, maybe represent you, also have a music division and a technology division of the company I want to found. And are you game? And he was like, yeah. He said, when you coming? I said, I don't know. When you want me to come? He's like, come tomorrow. So I went to Miami the next day. He picked me up, put me in his car. I'll never forget it. I should have known. He picked me up, put me in this car, started heading towards his house. And we're going over a bridge in Miami. I'm like, this is amazing. He said, yes, it is. And he pulled over on the side of the bridge, kicked the door open, and he ran fast as he could towards the edge and leaped off the side.
No.
And just into the water.
What? Like for real?
I'm so serious. And I'm sitting in the passenger seat like, where'd the white boy go? And that was the ride that was on for the next 8 years. I learned about the Marriott family traditions, their business practices, their spirituality, their commitment to excellence in the weirdest way through the lens of Stewart Marriott, which is probably one of the he really is a chip off all of the old blocks, but they tend to think he's a black sheep kind of type until you get to know any of them, and you're like, all of y'all are that way. Y'all just ain't tolerating that boy for being that way. But anyway, no, it was amazing. I'd go to their family reunions, and I'd sit around these campfires, and they'd let me drive these expensive boats, and I'd drive them like a maniac because I didn't know how to drive them. They didn't care. I say that they took me in like Tarzan like the apes took in Tarzan. The white people took in Jaxon. And they just trained me on how to do stuff their way. And it was just cool. I learned a lot about them, a lot from them. And but me and Stewart were the best of friends, and he was hard on me, really hard on me in a lot of ways. Oh yeah, he was hard on me. He didn't like that I didn't. It was the little things. He'd be like, "Look at that flower." I'm like, flower, bro? Why you want me to look at a silly flower? It's beautiful. The Lord created it. I'm like, okay, Stu, I'll look at the flower and be like, okay, look at the flower. But what I think he was trying to, the lesson is he was trying to tell me to wake up, see the beauty in everything.
Mm-hmm.
Stop being so, hard on my past, and that the future is brighter than I think it is. And he was right. And I love that boy for that. He taught me a lot.
That's awesome. And then you guys created Chain Brothers.
Mhm. Yeah, it was just one of those things where we had a lot to get out, right? Like, it was one of those things where we were using art to get our feelings out about life and our vision for things. It's like having a journal for some of us. Music becomes this place where you can control what you put on records. So we had a blast doing that. But I represent him as top male model. I mean, that's where the success was. He, I co-managed the company with him, and they taught me business, and yeah. And he was, he was voted one of the top male models in the world at the time. And we just happened to make music. We made music together.
Mm-hmm.
He was on we went to Paris and the runway shows and Miami during the season, this and that, whatever. And yeah, it was a hell of a ride. I couldn't understand why he wasn't hooking up with the girls, but he wasn't. He stuck to that. I'm not going to lie. I got to tell you, that boy was serious about that. I'm saving myself for my wife. And I was like,
so
bro,
amazing.
What are you talking about? Your wife ain't saving herself for you. I don't care. She ain't got to save herself for me. I'm saving myself for her.
That's really unbelievable. But
it was unbelievable.
I mean, he's so handsome.
Yeah, I mean, we had no shortage of options in that category.
That's right.
Yeah.
So tell me about when you met your wife.
Here in Dallas, I was judging a talent contest at the Spy Club. Talent contest at the Spy Club. And they was hooching it up. And I was like, your twerking technique needs a little improvement. But no, seriously, it was a talent contest at the Spy Club. Keith Black's club, one of our legends in our business. Shout out to Keith Black. And yeah, I saw her in the audience. I saw her after, and I walked up to her and I introduced myself. And, hey, I'd like to know you. And she's like, okay, cool. We talked a bit, and we left. She had her sister with her, and her sister was like, come on, Elena, and pulled her away from me. And then outside, I saw her again. I was like, Elena, here's my card. You will not regret having met me. And she went, oh, okay. And her sister went again, come on, Elena. Love her sister, by the way. She's one of my favorite people. She's just real like that. So, yeah, we, one thing led to another, and she called me. And she pursued me for 5 years.
What?
Mm-hmm.
5 years?
Yeah, I was pretty traumatized. I was like, I saw my parents married 7 times between them.
Oh, wow.
And the chaos that caused me and my siblings.
Yeah.
Specifically my dad. My mom once, but then she married 2 other people and I wasn't around. Anyway, they were married 7 times between. Dad 4 times, mom. So I was not getting married to nobody. She, on the other hand, her grandparents died on the same day. Like, I don't know which one it was. I think it was the mom died in the morning. The dad waited till the last sibling showed up and walked through that door and died and went right behind her the same day. And the parents been married for their whole lives. And it's completely opposite. So I like to say that we were like, the symbolism I give you is, I'm on one side of the streets, tracks. She's on the other side of the tracks. I'm on one side. I got this ratty grass and, poop in the yard. Ain't been scooped. It's just not sexy. It's not bopping. We got a lot of heart. We got a lot of soul. Her on it's plush. It's glorious. It looks like the place you want. It looks like paradise. But, the heart and soul thing is a little iffy. So she like, I want some heart and soul. I'm like, I want some plush and sexy. So we teamed up. We got married. But eventually, what ends up happening, especially now that I've learned so much about relationships through my marriage and through the counseling that I've had since then, is that, that's the romance phase of love. That's the phase where you're like, ooh, everything you are is hot. So she looked at me like, oh, this ratty grass and all that, it's kind of hot, man. I'm just telling you, all this stuff you see over here ain't it. And I'm like, shoot, this is it for me. And she's like, well, I want that. So one thing led to another. And these two people get married. I'm like, okay. But then you go through the power struggle. And the power struggle phase of the relationship is where you start to do just that. So our power struggle was also exacerbated by the fact that I didn't really have a lot of family support, and she had a lot of family support. So they were heavy-handed on her reality and my marriage and her career, and I was like flying solo on my side. So yeah, it just ended up being a dynamic that made sense to her, not to me, that we should get divorced. So we did.
But you have 4 beautiful children. I mean, they are.
Yep.
One is
and
more
she's a
beautiful.
great mom, and I got great babies with her. Yeah, they're amazing.
How long ago did you get divorced?
I don't count. I don't know. I couldn't even tell you. Definitely more than 5 years ago.
Okay.
Feels like more than 5 years ago. Yeah. And but during our marriage, I had a really awesome system organized. I walked him to school every day. Every Saturday was my day, called Saturday was Dadder Day. I created a whole program and an app and all kind of stuff called Kids Love to Work. And we created an app together, which is really awesome. We filmed them doing chores around the house, and then we made those training videos available to other kids. And we walk around the mall and be like, I take my 4 babies to the mall on Dadder Day. And I'm like, okay, today, I sit them all in front of me. I'm like, today, we're about to go launch Kid Loves to Work. Y'all ready? Let's go. We hit the mall, and I had them walk up to kids and say this to parents. Hey, would you like to teach your kid to love to work? To do chores? To do the dishes? To do the laundry? And to make their beds? And parents would be like, what's going on with these 4 crazy kids? Well, if you would, all you had to do is sign up for our program called Kids Love to Work. We got training videos and an app.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious.
So we had a blast to being on that side of our marriage in so many ways. And she was an incredibly accomplished actor. I supported her. She never had to have a job in Hollywood. She could just pursue her acting career, and she was she was on Smallville and Stargate, and she played superheroes and strong women on television, making hundreds of thousands of dollars a year and doing what she loved. I was pretty proud of our accomplishments.
That's amazing.
But certain people on her side were not. They didn't like the fact that we were in entertainment and we had 4 kids in Hollywood and it just didn't look right. I was like, what the hell? I didn't get it, but anyway, so be it. Anything else on that front?
No, I mean, it's just, I find it amazing that you went from that to that. And I mean, like you said, in an accomplished couple with an amazing family and Hollywood, not many people can say that.
No.